accelerating. He's done it. He's finding success in the middle of this furball. Absolute calamity from this.
The winch is going to stall it. And he's done it. He's done it.
Unbelievable from OG. Carries the team. How has Carnifex gone away with that? He even gets the second. Our regular season is done and Champs is just around the corner, but action doesn't end yet. Our LCQs for Europe are coming up. My name's Whip and I'm joined by Tetch on the desk here, and we are ready to send our last two teams to Champs for Europe. I'm excited to get into the action today.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game, a great couple of games, actually. We're playing 3 games total this weekend, or just today, and it's between 4 awesome teams we've seen fight it out. Currently, the 4 teams for today are Krusty Crew, Book Esports, Gamblers, and Pulsar White, which are 4 teams that are utterly incredible. And so it's going to be really awesome seeing all of them go head-to-head to fight out for these last 2 chances in the qualifiers.
I'm super excited to see who actually makes it through going into it. And I mean, we can actually just take a quick look at who's already going to be in our championship stage for this season going into it. And I think the way the format landed, the way the teams landed for who made it to champs, I'm not too surprised about how it was for who's already locked in that place. It felt somewhat following the script of what we've seen from how the playdays actually went.
Yeah, totally. I think there is definitely one outlier within those 4. I think Pulsar White being the big outlier in that 4, that we thought we would probably make it in the top 6 to start off with. But unfortunately, they haven't. They've had a bit of a rough season. And so they've caught themselves just below the threshold to make it to champs without having to play the last chance qualifiers. So we'll see how well they want this. We'll see if they can fight for the win.
I mean, the story for Pulsar has been a team that have had great expectations, and they've fallen a little bit short of, I think, the expectations placed on themselves, by themselves, and even the community in a way. But the redemption arc has been slowly and surely improving week after week in our Wednesday games and then on our Saturday matchups. So hopefully they can get things rolling. We speak about Pulsar, of course. They're going to be our first match here on stream. They're going to be up against Bucks, lining up. Actually, we believe we can take a look at our map video to see where our action's going to be for this one. Tetra, talk us through it.
Well, we've got a very strange pick, I feel, first. Pulsar picking Seoul Under Construction, a very uncommon map to see picked quite early on. It's a map that is always very difficult to attack, specifically on that hospital side, even though it's got a quick change recently. Still very hard to do. And then Book picking Nozomi, a very, very strong map in that second pick. I think Book Esports are really going to thrive in that, with Cis Horizon, the competitive map, being that last pick for Pulsar.
I really think that if we go into this and we see these, I think there's a chance we can see even these videos flip and go into our third map. I want to see us go into Cis Horizon for this. That's why I want to see this. And ultimately, I want to see best of 3s go all that way. Of course, it's going to be a best of 3 for these. You saw 3 maps, of course. But I'm always do this whenever someone shares a desk with me. I put them on the hot seat going forward. So you're not going to escape this one. I'm going to make you go for a prediction. Who's it going to be? Who do you think gets it done here and books their ticket immediately towards champs?
We're going to have to go with Pulsar White. I mean, they're just so strong. And I mean, to not see Pulsar White in the champions feels weird. It feels weird to not have them in the top 8. So for a telco's reasons, I'm gonna pick Pulsar White going through.
Honestly, I think my heart's gonna go that way. My head would pick it as well, but I think just to have some contrast here, I'll be the biggest Bucks fan that we've ever seen. I think it creates a little bit of a dynamic here, so okay. My heart's gonna be with Pulsar White, but just saying. But we can get ready with soon diving into this one. You mentioned, of course, Hospital has a small change towards that bridge. It's not a significant change. It still makes retaking that side of the map near impossible. How do you think we're gonna see teams trying to approach that today?
I think it's going to be very interesting. I mean, this, like you're saying, very minor change. It is the bridge. See if people play it the same way or if there's a different strategy to the map. It's going to be very, very interesting getting into it.
Again, it's you mentioned it. It's that very interesting map selection going into it. Realizing that we have those difficult retakes, and both teams in close proximity to each other are immediately diving up to take control of construction. Vault 1 just going to be a little bit out towards our hospital side of things. We're going to try and fight on this high ground initially. Some early damage chipped away the M11. Great jump up is going to be all in favor so far of Books. Huge damage. Man needs to keep himself in this fight. Low damage just gets traded away. And we find ourselves immediately in a light on light duel. Devil's Work versus Krieger. Blue can bounce up high and he's going to get caught out. A Telco finds that finish. And that's going to be a white. Pulsar can find themselves in control early. They'll dive up, they'll tap the box, and they get themselves a reset period. Books have to try and rewrite this one.
Yeah, what a strong opening from Pulsar. Coming in so strong, and I mean, Curzon left on such low HP from the light. Some amazing M11 shots on the side of Book Esports, but unable to finish it off. And like you're saying, Pulsar White now in control of the cash box. They're going to get that inserted, and it's going to have to be Book Esports on the back foot.
A great plug as well, wasting no time. They had that gateway pre-established, and you put it perfectly. This is going to be a massive delay. This transition, you have to now travel that transit, getting close towards the high ground. They're trying to form the plan. Vanish Bomb ready to work with here, so they'll send that in. They're going to use it to get some crossage, and actually, this is going to enable them to get so close, diving on in. I don't think Pulsar are aware. They will get some sound cues, like that vent getting popped up to hear this zip wire. And just poking, looking for information. Very reserved so far. Early damage done. Persian going to get himself lit up as well, but darting away is going to be Amanda. Good heal beam to get himself topped up, but a little bit of reset. Both teams tentative to make that initial engagement.
So tentative to make that engagement, but here it comes, the bounce pad and the RPG from above, and shottering out a wonderful winch to catch a member of Book Esports out of place, and Mandy goes down, and it's now a 2v3 for the side, 2v1 on the side of Pulsar, and that's the wipe. It happened in an instant. Pulsar wipe take another wipe, and it's their box still.
That was beautiful going into it, and we saw the... that's Bernal we saw briefly. Don't let your eyes deceive you. But we're back here and so, but we put it perfectly, right? Books are taking their time. They're trying to set things up. They try to dive on, but Pulsar had everything under control. A massive winch to isolate Manda, take that damage, and even though Person got led up himself, he just controlled that perfectly. We'll see that Vanish Bomb used again to try and close the distance. High ground held, and while it doesn't work out, they still get spotted out going into it. Gateway's going to try and establish this, and will it work? Third time's the charm? Surely he hits this eventually, but time's running out.
What is going on right now? I mean, Person is taking damage, and this gateway is still not being used. Book Esports have to start the steal now, otherwise there won't be enough time later, and the steal's coming out. They're getting it. They're not pushing. Pulsar are taking their time, but the steal might come out. They've got the steal! Book Esports changed the box to their side, and it just has to delay now. Pulsar go down, and somehow Book Esports have pulled that out of the bag. What just happened?
From an absolute calamity, they missed the gateway, but they decided they don't have time to work for it. They dive straight in with a Hail Bomb, Hail Ball, double Dome Shield, and a Vanish Bomb to get some cover for the denial. They just had enough time. Pulsar too far away, and they didn't find those picks from their range setup, and they couldn't dive in time to stop it. Massive flip, an early advantage here. One box lead for Books, as this is going to be problematic for Pulsar. They do get control of that vault early, and they have hospital control, so this cross will be a nightmare from Books. Pulsar will just wait to gather as much information as they can. They see it and realizing that we have the advantageous position. Telco takes some early damage, Persian as well chipped away, but with control they'll likely send Devil's Work on that light straight to use that gateway, and that's what they do. They cross in and they got themselves straight towards that building. Great mobility, but they will have one more fight before they can work about that plug.
Yeah, and a wonderful gateway there. Really stopping that hospital side push being so hard. But Pulsar being so careful here. The Vanish Bomb from the side of Pulsar this time. They've spotted a member of Book Esports, an RPG to seal the fate of one of Book's members. And it's now a team fight, a winch to slow it down. But the train of Pulsar keeps on chugging as it's Krieger down in a 1v3 as the Defa comes up from Pulsar. And it's not looking good. Running away. And that will be a win in terms of fights for Pulsar, I hope.
It should be, because there's no way Krieger's going to have a way to get back at this. Just in the numbers game alone, he'll try and not force out that white. Red Fox back in 3, 2, 1, so he'll burn that coin back in the fray. Heavy will be up soon as well, so they're going to be close proximity again. They can spawn on that proximity of their teammates, so closer towards his cash box, and they'll waste less time contesting it. Once again, upstairs on our construction building. Control of that crane was very pivotal for Pulsar, but didn't work out. They left themselves too far away, so not committing this time. Eventually, with the help of some red barrels, it does does get dropped away, and Person, I actually don't know who that was from Pulsar, but they drop away. Vanish Bomb will degrade. Red Fox looks to try and chip some damage with that M11. Massive jump pad, finds information, but yet again, Books just waiting, trying to find that key moment to dive on into this, and they're going to rely on Mr. Red Fox all by himself. Huge damage done. Man's going to take that jump pad diving in, but Red Fox doesn't get that opportunity. Only finds an empty dome shield. He has to take that zip and misses it. His team fall one by one, left all alone. Devil's Works to get caught out. Talco's last man standing. It's all down to him. Person gets caught, but unfortunately, it will be a 1-on-1, and that's going to be the FAMAS who wins that one out. Talco stays alive, resets his team, and gets one step closer to a level playing field.
I think we need to start wearing heart rate monitors, because my heart has been going off the wall over these last 2 fights. Red Fox picks up 2 before going down, almost makes it a team wipe. I mean, if they want to just relax a bit and like let us catch our breath, that would be great, because right now, Book Esports are putting on a show. It's so good so far.
The only thing for Books is the fact that they've been fighting on this defense the entire, or this offense. They have to go for that retake, right? Vanish Bomb, great entryway, but they need to find some early damage. Again, time not going to be their ally, so they have to really chase on an opening pick, and they're going to try and hunt down Devil's Work. He finds himself isolated. They'll clear utility off the bomb as well. Just trying to chip some damage. Finds it the double deagles. Match might be a misplay. Person finds himself nearly caught out as well. But you look at the time on this one. They might have to commit for this one. We've seen this work before for Books. No way! Pulsar, you cannot let this one slip. Great glitch diving in. The goo's going to work perfectly. And they're going to hold on just in time to bring this level. It's all going to be all down to Talco. But I think he might have just done enough with the goo. He'll kite away. He takes the wipe and will bring us back to sudden death. All down to our final cash box. But once again, we find ourselves looking in a position where Pulsar playing it so committed to that kite style, just far away, and nearly came down to a dire moment. Great goo coming in just to shut that down completely.
Again, my heart is pumping. I am on the edge of my seat here. It's so close, these fights, and they're just coming down to these few moments of genius. I mean, like you're saying, that goo was so strong on the side of Pulsar, able to deny the steal and denied the win on Book Esports side. Is that was their ticket to potentially going 1-up in this best of 3. And it seems like they will be getting the plug though. Hopefully, I believe they're in control of that cash box, Book Esports. But it seems like Pulsar are coming in to stop this plug completely, and a fight is breaking out over this cash box.
Also playing this perfectly, just realizing the rotation and completely shutting down the cash box, meaning that you have to go through them before you can fight that plug. Not going to make it an easy one. Finding that damage will be Manda, brings us back to level. Going to dive into that defib and finds it all replenished. Difficult fight to win out here. That's going to be a huge pickup. It's going to be Books take a massive wipe at Talco. Devil's Work pop off huge for their team, and that's going to be a reset. Books in a great position. They looked almost guaranteed to find themselves their first plug, their first defense established, but no, they get wiped out by a great read. Pulsar realize that they can shut down that cash box, they get control, and they find themselves a plug. Once again, what feels like a third time, Books are on that retake. They have to fight for control. They've done it once before, but surely Pulsar this time won't let it go that way. They're going to be back up on the top of a construction, and they're going to get great visibility. They're going to spot this rotation, and even a Vanish Ball might not help you get this one done.
Fingers crossed it helps them get it done. We've seen this Vanish Bomb play come out many a times. They're using it to gain that space, but will they expect Devil's Work from behind, sneaking around? He has a Vanish Bomb of his own. Will he spot when he spots one? Isn't going to shoot, playing it safe. Vanish Bomb comes out, and here comes the push from Pulsar. They have the info from Devil's Work, but Book Esports have swapped sides. They've swapped the battlegrounds. And here comes Devil's Work, last alive now against Book Esports. Gets 2. It's down to 1v1 Manta versus Devil's Work. The Witch comes out and misses, but he's able to clean it up. And Book Esports gets another wipe onto Pulsar and are in control of the cash box.
Huge fight for Books to get control. They have all the time in the world, and they take that. Flip it in their favor. Just under half time left to get this one in their side, and we can hop on board with this one. And just a massive diving commit from them. Finding a massive pick. Person and Talco go down just like that, and leaving it all down the Devil's Work to try and battle away. He finds one, couldn't escape the totem and get him back, and it will be all in advantage now for Books. Quarter time left to make this one work. They'll have a lot of congestion and take some early damage, but Person RPG needs to find a target. No one presents itself, but with everyone winning, great gateway. door does this one open up? He's gonna pad up, and this RPG needs to be huge, and it will be. He might take a second pad. Dome Shield goes off and chases him down. The goo is gonna be perfect. And it's all about delaying time at this stage. Krieger Blue's gonna be the first to fall from it, and they might try to tap this early, drive them on in. Person with the shotgun yet again looks to contest, reads that drop. Great winch. Will he get counter winch? Yes, he will. But can he win his one? He needs to do it so. Huge damage taken. Is the steal gonna go off? No, not yet. All down to Mr. Red Fox. Single point of HP up against 2. Surely he can't get this one done. No, he can! Oh no! That's the Pulsar get the wipe, but unfortunately the final few moments it's gonna be all in favor for the side of Books, who sneak their way to a victory here on Seoul.
What just happened? I am so confused on what we've just watched for the past 10 minutes. That might be, I'm gonna say it, that might be the greatest game I've watched of the finals. I'm gonna say it, guys. That was so strong from both sides. It was always just a fight of who was in control, and it never looked like one team was in control ever.
The big thing about that is it comes down, that fight was perfect. A lot of pressure really went down on the person there. Person finds a huge opening RPG, massive damage, gets an opening pick, great play, gets the winch, gets counter winch, tries to fight that heavy. The rest of his team should go for that steal, and we really find that Devil's work, the last man standing, just doing just enough to do all the damage he needs and forcing it into a difficult spot. But Books, they played that perfectly, and the big thing I want to highlight is their first initial retake on Cash Box 1. How have they got away with that? And I think that's going to be the skeleton that's going to haunt the side of Pulsar.
Yeah, a very spooky match to start it off. I mean, it is a best of 3. So it's not a best of 0, because that spells boo. But it is a best of 3. And so we've only seen one game. There is still chance for Pulsar to come back, to regain, figure out what went wrong. And I think it's specifically, like you were saying, letting them get that first cash box. I mean, it was so easy to stop, and yet they were able to get it off. So they just need to regroup, recalculate everything that's going on, and figure out how they can work on it.
I mean, the big thing I think is it's first game warm up for Pulsar fans. Maybe that might be the copium, but I mean, listen, I was forced into being a Bucks fan for this game because of your prediction. So if we're going off cast prediction elo, I'm gonna be very happy with that one. But both teams were super closely contested, as you've put perfectly. That's gonna be, I think, down to. I think Bucks were better on the opening fights. They were better getting themselves in position. Time and time again, they were able to get themselves on construction platform without taking significant damage, and their patience to wait for the right moment to dive into fights paid them perfectly. We see in that final one, while time was a pressure, Pulsar kind of had to just straight commit. They didn't really find themselves in an advantage. And Bucks, time and time again here on Seoul, have been in the better position. Whether it's Lady Luck shining upon them or great timing from themselves, they benefited from it perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, benefited from it absolutely perfectly. And right now, it's looking like it might be perfect for Book Esports going to the second map, because it is a Book Esports pick. We're going to Nozomi next. And I feel like, even as cast prediction Pulsar, I feel like Book Esports have the upper hand on this second map. Book Esports have been pretty good over the season on Nozomi, and so we'll see if Pulsar are able to compete with what Book can be putting down.
You put it perfectly. In a best of 3 like this, when you realize that victory here puts you in the champs, you join the ranks of everyone else in Europe, this is going to be a map that we'll expect Books to be tremendously strong on. They have taken and flipped the map veto in their favor. So I am a little bit concerned for Pulsar going into this. Now, how prepared they are on Citadel and Nozomi, I want to see, hope it's good, but only time can tell for that going into a different flow to this map. A lot more of those close quarter fights through those buildings, and verticality can be much more of a factor here. We saw most of our fights happening same level, the small elevation on construction doesn't give a lot of credence to drop plays. You can't play from that above position, so I expect Nozomi to be a little bit more chaotic in those mid games, and maybe see the team that finds that plug able to manipulate with the winch a little bit better and find those cash box in more dominant positions than what we saw here on Seoul.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, speaking about Pulsar as well, you were mentioning it earlier, they're just so good at kiting and also jump padding from height. It's definitely something that can be favored on Nozomi. I mean, we've seen it several times on Nozomi, on also maps like Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a good one for padding out of nowhere. So it could be that Pulsar are able to take Book Esports sort of by surprise and completely mess up what Book Esports is planning. But maybe we'll see that winch come in handy with the old cash box. We'll see.
I mean, the amount of options you have here in Izoma, just to bring it through, you can even winch pad it into great open expanses. Expect the team that has that control to be really dominant, and I'm not worried though too much about how Bucks can deal with it. I think that they had a very fair kind of assessment of problem solving when they were on that retake. They never had a plug going in to solve. They were always fighting to flip in their favor. So I don't think they'll be too concerned if they're having to fight on the back foot here in Izomi. Just a few extra complications with it being watched from the fortresses above going forward. But would you like to change your predictions, or are you gonna keep where you were standing?
I'm gonna stick with my guns. Pulsar are gonna win map 2. I can feel it in my blood.
You know what? That's a wise enough prediction. I like it. I don't even have a rebuttal for that one.
No. I've been born with the Pulsar blood. I believe in it.
Well, that's the real question, though. If you might be born with their blood, but have you decided to don their skin in game? If you want to support your favorite teams, remember, in the store, all the teams in our partner program have skins representing them, and all those teams will be attending the major in Stockholm. That's a plug for you all. Go buy your skins.
Go buy the skins. Go buy
Now.
them all.
Or else.
Right now. Buy
Yeah.
every single one of them in the shop right
This is a
now.
threat.
It's a big threat. Everyone is terrified of us.
I know. Tell you what else is a threat. Persian's RPG, and hopefully he can find more impact with it this round than he did in the previous. So we'll get things ready up for vault number 1. Looks a little bit like Pulsar have dove in for that early control. Some pressure getting mounted up. Red barrel ready. You see Krieger Blue taking some early damage. Famas rips him to shreds. Pulsar finds that damage via Telco. And just looking to get some pressure. They do tap it eventually, drawing reactionary play. And that's what I mentioned. That extra verticality here in Izomi just leads some extra work. And they drop it down. Great use. Now they have control of the cash box. Will that force Pulsar to dive on down?
It could do, but it seems like Devilwork once again is playing away from that team, trying to gain any sort of info that he can. And they are just waiting, but they've spotted Manda. Heavy out in the open alone. Gonna deal as much damage as they can, but Telco taking damage back from the medium on the other side. That's the mass, deals so much damage, but here comes Krieger from behind. Red Fox, apologies. And here is it's light on light action as Devil's work is last alive now on Pulsar. Down to 1 left, and he is unable to do anything. Manda with 2 there, and they take control of that cash box.
Huge pick for them, and that's going to be, again, another position where we see Bucks being in that traditionally disadvantageous spot. They're going to be trying to fight for that control. Great play. They drop the vault in their control with a massive red barrel. That's going to force reaction from Pulsar if they want to have that control. That's going to be a threat of a gateway if it's opened up for them. And that's going to now allow a massive escape. Bucks get the plug and Pulsar spawn in. Now, they're going to be in fairly decent proximity to make a play work. And hopefully we see better use of the gateways than what we saw previously. Pads on up. Great dash. And they find some huge damage picked up early. Devil's work gets caught out. And this rotation spotted out perfectly. Bucks aware of that threat. They hold the high ground currently. I wonder, cash box dropped down. Are they going to be close enough? And now wide in the open. Great winch play. And they should have an opportunity to try and make this one work. This is going to be a massive dive. Bucks need to make something happen here. They will try to dive straight in, but I think Persian has it done. He does. Flips it perfectly. Oh, you have to kite perfectly, but you can't be that far away. And a massive exit pad from Metalco. Gets Persian on that top floor. This is a critical fight. Manda shuts it down though. And Persian, last man standing. Oh no, Pulsar. Great opening, but the mid-fight falls apart. Massive flip for Bucks. They get control yet again.
A very sad exit for Persian there. Dies to his own C4, unfortunately. But, I mean, we've seen that Pulsar can flip it. And not with 10 seconds left like Bucks were doing last game. It is something that Pulsar can do. And I think they just need that little bit extra. I think they can steal this. We saw a very, very strong denial there. The goo was amazing. Blocks that winch from denying the counter of the steal. And I think Pulsar going into this will be able to do something. We'll just have to find out.
Great opening from Pulsar, great reaction. And again, they had that so well planned out. We winch, we goo, we cover it. They realize they have that space, but they don't have that option available to them this time. They'll clear utility early. And I think a Telco might just try and stick this, and that's what he'll do. Bucks diving in, there's no glitch to cover him, no body block to save him. Persian last man standing yet again. And Bucks are going to be able to get themselves a guarantee here. They lock out our first cash box and move one step closer to our champ stage, and just around the corner. What a play from them. Pulsar forced to make an early dive bomb straight in, and Bucks read it perfectly.
Yeah, completely read it perfectly. I feel like Pulsar are being absolutely read by Book Esports here. They are doing such a good job in stopping what Pulsar are trying to do, going for that steal, going past the heavy and just denying that steal. And it doesn't seem like Pulsar are sort of working together here. There's no heal, there's no defense, there's no anti-winch. It's all sort of crumbling for Pulsar here.
I feel like the difficulty is that Pulsar, especially in that last fight, didn't have the time to play off each other in the way we'd expect for them. They've been improving in their cash-out games all season long. In their 3v3s, they're still finding this inconsistency, and this is going to be some huge damage done early from the side of Pulsar, falling one by one. Talco, the last man standing. Krieger Blue should find that damage. He will get caught out. He does find one for his effort, but he will get immediately traded away from the F-guard of Krieger Blue. Full reset, and that's a very fast wipe taken from the side of Pulsar yet again.
Yeah, very fast wipe. I mean, here he is. Krieger splitting the TVs there between two television sets, able to take out the final member of Pulsar. And now they're in control. They have this, and this is, again, a time in where Book Esports, unlike last game, are in control and are on defense. This could be it. This is possibly a potentially last cash box for Book Esports, and that could be it. They could be at the major, but it's down to Pulsar to stop that and take it to map 3.
Well, not quite the major. The champs.
Not the major. I said the wrong thing. The champs. Guys, this isn't the major, trust me.
Well, they're going to try and get that flip early, and this is what I talked about. You have that drop down available to teams now. They do trap it out, they do bait that and recover your utility from the side of Pulsar. They'll clear the second C4. They're going to keep working to get themselves in position. A great zip wire going up and a massive retake of the high ground. What a play from Books, and Person takes himself half his way to lose half HP. Oh, this is a problem. Books played is perfectly, quarter of the time gone already, and they hold the high ground. This could be a problem for Pulsar to fight back.
It is going to be a problem, but it seems like Pulsar with a lovely goo to stop any sort of drops from above. And this is going to stop Book Esports. The glitch coming out, but the dome hasn't been used yet. The dome is still in hold for Perzon, and he's not using it. They're delaying that. And here comes the winch, though. The winch comes out, moves the cash box, and now they're in control. They're still coming out. Atelco using the cover of the map to his advantage. A lovely winch from Book. Krieger takes out Devil's Work, playing in the back, and it's just awful for Pulsar here. Going down one by one, Person left alive, and he can't do anything, and that would be the wipe for Pulsar, and potentially it.
Pulsar, 20 seconds away from spawning, and I don't think they've got time to make that work. Manda, with a winch of God, pulls it away, denies a steal from Atelco, and the longest team fight we've had here on Citadel leads to a wipe from Pulsar yet again, and Books on the precipice of victory. Champs are calling their name, but will it be a last-second dive of desperation from the side of Pulsar? They don't have the time, it's all but over, and I think we can already etch the name of our qualified teams for Books. They're about to make it. It will be that final act of desperation. They'll dive in, the gas covers it off, and it will be a victory in a 2-0 fashion for Books. They take the double with Pulsar, and they move themselves to champs.
They have moved to champs and not the major. Just for anyone confused, not the major. They're going to champs. But again, they're also going to the major. Book Esports are also going to the major. But they are in champs for PHL. But Pulsar White, the story isn't over for Pulsar White. They have been moved down to, we're going to call it the lower bracket. We'll call it that for clarity's sake. They're going to be playing a best of 5 against the team that we'll be seeing next, who is against Krusty Crew and Gamblers. And it'll be a best of 5. It's not a best of 3. They'll have a game advantage as well. They'll go into it being 1-0 up, having an advantage. So we could see Pulsar still make it to champs. It could happen.
It's not over for them, but it's obviously that lower bracket run pressure sits upon them, or I think in technicality sense, our lower bracket. I think the easier way to put that in description, but I mean, the one thing was, I don't think Person actually had a kill in that game. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, I looked away at the wrong moment, but it was a very quiet game from... Oh my! So our producer Burrito just told me that Atelco was the only person to get a kill, and it was a singular kill. Books, again, it was their map choice. They went to Nozomi, they're willingly, and they showed us why. Pulsar were beaten to the punch, it felt like, in an uncharacteristic way. You gotta feel for them here. Ow, you put it perfectly. It's not over for them, but they're now on their last life. They've lost it there, and It's not going to be an easy matchup next up for them to be able to go ahead, because it's going to be the victors. Our next match was Krusty Crew and Gamblers, so there's a chance for a Pulsar or Champless Pulsar. A Pulsarless Champs. There we go.
Pulsarless Champs. Not, however, Pulsarless Major, because again, this is not the major qualifiers. But it doesn't matter because, again, like you're saying, they've still got a chance. And we're going into a very good game next. This is the first game that the next game is going to be the first one where a team will be eliminated from the Large Hearts qualifiers, and they will not make it. And I believe we have map picks for said game. So let's
we do.
Let's pull those up.
This is what I want. Okay, so it's going to be another Nozomi matchup for these sides. Krusty Crew bring out Bernal, leaving Fortune Stadium as our third and final map for our second best of 3 today. We've already seen Nozomi play. A little bit in our green room, you spoke about how you were kind of disappointed we didn't see Bernal in our first game. We see it in a second. What's your initial reactions as we line up for our vetoes?
I am very excited. I'm going to say it. I love Fortune Stadium. I think Fortune Stadium is a great map. I think it does a lot very well, and I think it's a key player in the competitive scene today. And Bernal as well. Just as of recent, they re-added suspended structures. I don't know if we're playing suspended structures for Bernal here, but it's going to be interesting to see what we play, and if suspended structure are there, how teams are going to play it. Because for this entire season, I believe Bernal has not been picked at all. And so it's going to be interesting to see if teams even still know how to play Bernal. You know, have they forgotten? Have they forgotten how to play Bernal? We shall find out, I guess.
It's not been a common pick. We've seen it slip in a little bit in our cash out matchups. So I've chosen it in my start for the starting games a couple of times. But I mean, it's a very different style of map. Again, you got these massive expanses, these super long lines of sight. Think about the vision you gain exactly from the cathedral, right? On top of that cathedral, you have great visibility. If you end up fighting with a cash box in the church or in those grounds or even fighting for a vault, first team there will hold a huge advantage. You have some levels of verticality, but you don't have the variety of drops we saw on Nozomi. You can't bring it down 2, 3, 4 floors. You really have to play it as it lies. You can winch in the longer alleyways and play for that top control, but there is less you can do on a defensive side. So the initial who gets the plug in the early control, less valuable in my opinion here, but still very important for teams to have that setup time to work with.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That plug time is definitely less valuable on this map. But I mean, we saw with Book Esports and Pulsar, does the plug matter? Specifically in that first game, Book Esports able to flip it so many times and in those final moments that really this could come down to anyone. And specifically with Krusty Crew, a team that plays so off meta. I mean, Feros plays the bow. So that's going to be fun. So maybe they're so off meta that they're actually going to keep the cash box completely throughout and they're going to win from the plug. I can feel it.
I mean, the bow, I actually think about it, when we lean the Ferris on the bow here for one example. I mentioned that you have these long line of sights, you got these long alleyways, you think you can have an effect with this bow. I don't, like, we've seen him manage to make it work in basically every map we've seen played, whether in 3v3s or our cash out days. So I want to see some heroics for our bow. I'm always for it. It's one of the most satisfying things to watch. On a realistic sense for it, though, huge chip damage potential going forward, so something you have to be aware of, and because he's been consistent on this bow, if you're the side of gamblers, you kind of know what you're up against, but realize you have to know your threats, so how do they try to mitigate that? Maybe to try and play super up close, rush that bow down. Obviously, there's the rest of the team to work with, man, but huge chip damage with a crit could be a problem to work with in those chaotic team fights.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you're saying, it's to play, it's the rock, paper, scissors effect. It's to play to counter your team more than to play for what you're comfortable with. I feel like if you know that Ferris is going to run bow, how can you counter that? How can you deal with a bow player? It's kind of like dealing with Knives, Hammer, Brisket. How can you deal with a big sledgehammer player running directly towards you? And there's not many counters to that, I feel.
I've only done cash out days so far this season, and every time I'm left enamored with what I've seen average man do with that hammer. I feel almost robbed. I don't get to see him today, unfortunately. Maybe Nice Hammer Brisket should have done a better job of making it to our LCQ. But I mean, listen, I've been a fan of seeing teams go way off the meta, trying to go for different things, and it often works out. The meta is the meta for a reason. It's the most effective thing that you can run, map in, map out. But when you have a team that's used to these systems and you begin to change things up, it can be a factor. However, We've had these teams play each other all across this season. We've had them go up ahead against each other in our cash out days, and unsure if these teams have actually played each other in a 3v3 yet, but they should be fully aware. There's lots of tapes and VODs and awareness, so everyone should be locked in for it as they almost ready to dive into Nazomi for it. My predictions this time, I'll let you go first yet again. Who do you think is going to be able to take this one?
I am a Krusty Crew fan through and through. Krusty Crew are coming out on top. I can feel it.
Oh, well, don't tell UK Casinos because I'm a bit of a gambler, so I think they went my way themselves. That's who I'm going to go for this one. I think they can get the job done for it. I mean, honestly, I like just to go, I'm a contrarian sometimes. I have to go the other way to whoever's on the desk with me. So I went for gamblers for the fact I like the team and also that you went the other way. Nazomi, we're getting ready to dive into our action here. You got our predictions, chat? Chat, who do you want to see get the victory here? But one final bit of information for everybody to get ready. Both teams have a substitute in stand-in today, so not full power from either side. So a level playing ground as well as we get ready to dive straight into Nazomi.
Oh, I hope Ferros is not the player subbed out.
Same.
I hope we get to see some Ferros.
No,
it's Ferros. Production have told us it's Ferros. It's been... Oh, we've unfortunately got Chief. Well, not unfortunately. I assume Chief will put up a great... I've literally forgotten how to English right there, so...
It's tough out here sometimes. It's a difficult one. We're going to take a massive zip and a lot of shots exchanged. Not a lot of damage. Kiriki does find the initial change and is going to be hopping on board here with Cartones, just trying to find something the 9-3R. He does get forced away. Some rooftop slaps him on the head as he tries to escape. Glitch bar already. He'll lob that into the mix. English is tough for me as well if he needs it. Some early damage done, but he's not going to support his team. Going to be a little bit far away. Chief's going to be the first. No, not fall. Is he still stuck? Now he does. Now he's gone. The winch doesn't miss. Going to try and dive in. The shotgun should shred our light here. And he does get caught out. Cartones get shut down. The Gamblers hold the early advantage. They win our fight for the vault. And they should have that early map control here on Nazomi.
Well, I mean, apart from both of us failing at English, that was a really good team fight. I think both teams played that so well and just played it. I think there was a lot of playing off of each other and the dynamic. I mean, we saw Krusty Crew took early damage very early on and also then backed off and tried to play safe, tried to allow the team fight to sort of dip a bit. But unfortunately, Gamblers took advantage of that and completely dominated Krusty Crew and now are in control of this box they are about to plug.
They got the plug, they have that control, but they don't have a lot of breathing room. It looks like very quickly we're going to see that pressure arriving from Krusty Crew. Gateway goes out, gets the rest of the team established on this LED wall. Huge damage with that FAMAS. Going to leave Bola a little bit worse for wear. I'm unsure if they've taken the opportunity to relocate this cash box. It looks like it's a little bit further down than average. I hear a winch go off in the distance. Nothing connects from it. They're just waiting. Find an opportunity to dive in with this RPG ready from Crab GPT. The vault is going to be outside as well, so that's going to be a pressure to work with. I'm just going to go floor by floor, looking to find that initial encounter, trying to make as little noise as possible. Across the crew, just one level above. I think it's going to be all down to Gamblers just to hide and wait.
Oh, they are waiting for Krusty Crew to appear. Cartones has the gateway and is ready to drop down. But do they know about Gamblers? I mean, they're running about, they're making sounds. Surely Krusty Crew have heard them below, waiting like sharks, swimming for blood. And they're just taking their time still, but Bola goes down. It's actually Krusty Crew to make the first move, and it's down to a 2v3 now, as Volva and Kiriki are both alone, heavy and medium. They can make this work as there's not much time left on the cash out, less than half. They can play time if they want to. And the winch comes out and the steel is coming out. The dome to stop and the winch takes away the stealer and it's down to a 2v2 now. Cartones trying to fight for his dear life but can't. Beneath him comes out from Crab and it's Chief and Crab alone. They're trying to fight it off. They need to get this steal fast. But Gamblers are able to put up damage. Kiriki and, oh my gosh, Volva able to take out another, and that is the white from Krusty Crew.
Kiriki has just white knuckled that healing beam to keep his heavy alive. Volva has just held on and won his ones. Great support play from our medium. Bola gets picked early. You lose those glitch grenades. You lose that advantage. You have to fight through dome shields from Krusty Crew, and they managed to make it work. Massive winch getting brought out from Volva. I mean, what a play. What a play we've just seen. I'm honestly a little bit in shock that we've just watched Gamblers walk away from that player down, and they managed to hold on to that cash box. Looks like Krusty Crew find themselves in a better position to tap Vault 2 early. They have that control. These bridges are difficult to cross. Only 3 avenues realistically available from the side of Gamblers to make that play. They'll try their best. Looking for a long way around. Not really time constraints found just yet.
They're just taking their time. They're using the new pads. As many of the pads, zip lines across this map recently got replaced with pads to make it a bit safer to cross. As Nozomi famously, very hard to cross to the different areas. And Krusty Crew are in control of this cash box. They've dropped it. They're going to let Gamblers know where they are. They're going to take some time and a gateway over to C, and they've completely baited out Gamblers there. Gamblers thought it was going to A, but Krusty Crew took it the other way, planted it in C, and are taking some damage. It's a bit of anger coming out from Gamblers. They're trying to find at least one Krusty Crew member to take it out on.
Looking to find that damaged M11, and this is just going to be a problem now. Trying to chase down this play. Can the Gamblers get themselves in a position yet again? And it looks like Krusty Crew just might open the door a little bit to try and tap this in close proximity. A wall of goo getting established on that doorway. Then they have the high ground. They can pop this floor. Hopefully they have some utility to make that one work. A C4 down below could be an option, but I think they should be able to get this one, this stick. By the time they get it, this detonates, and it will be flipped, and Gamblers have themselves in control again. The box does drop down a little bit lower, but now they hold the high ground. They should, now I say that with massive parentheses, be able to hold on here. They have the advantage. Right. All down to who wins that opening pick. You do not want to be the first player to fall for either team. Great Winch pulls that cash box a little bit more out of view. Makes things harder to hold on from the side of Gamblers.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, you definitely don't want to be that first person out, but like we saw with Gamblers last time, they lost that first member and still won the fight. So really, it's anyone's game going into this, and Gamblers know that time is on their side once again. The goos to block off the door, the Crab GPT trying to get through, and the first fight goes down, and it's down. Krusty Crew loses an extra member, lose 2. Cartone's brought back up by the defib, and it's just down to Chief Cartones in a 3v2 situation as Volva gets picked up by the defib, and it is a mess. Members on members just flying left and right, and Gamblers are still in the lead. They still have control of this cash out with seconds remaining. The long revive coming out on Crab, and now it's a 3v3. They have time here, but they need to start stealing soon, otherwise it's down to Gamblers to win it. There's not much time left. What can they do?
Based off time alone, I think Gamblers have this one done. I think they're too far away. Krusty Crew have got no way in. There's nothing they can do. They can make a dive in, but time will be their enemy. They'll run into Bola. They'll run into everyone, but it will be a victory, a 2-0 fashion here on Nozomi. Gamblers take it away in a dominant second cash box. They held on perfectly, and they held nicely. They move themselves one step closer to a matchup with Pulsar. What that is, and wow, it's find that victory.
Yeah, what a strong win there. I mean, we saw Gamblers. I feel like Krusty Crew in that final fight didn't realize they weren't in control of that cash box. They were playing it quite defensively for a team that was on the back foot. And I mean, we saw some great plays, and unfortunately, again, they just lost to time. It was such a close fight in those final moments, and they really just was just seconds away from getting that. They had the wipe. They just needed a bit more time. And Vol did some great work there. When coming up, and just really, really good. Very, very strong performance there.
I mean, they played it so strong. I mean, the big thing about this was the fact in that second cash box in particular that we find it really down to the fact that it has to be a flip and a pivot. They have to go for that retake, and they find that control. There was very little that we saw Krusty Crew actually able to do in general to stop that initial flip going down. They didn't have a C4 prepped and ready, and that was a lot down just by timing. By the time they got that plug, they wanted to reset down below to have that drop down. Oh, by the time they were getting ready for it, it's already done. It's already locked in. It's already being halfway controlled from Gamblers, and not really any easy way back into it from there. So, dominant performance yet again, a 2-0 as we look towards Bernal to get ready. Do you think this trend will continue for Gamblers, or do you think we'll see our series get reset back to one round and one map apiece?
I hope that Krusty Crew are able to put up just a perfect performance here, but who knows? It really is anyone's game, and I mean, Gamblers showed absolute dominance in that first map. So even though I love Krusty Crew, I feel like this might go the way of Gamblers.
Oh, you know what? For me, it's difficult to. And if I was a gambler man, I'd go with the gamblers. I've already predicted them earlier on our desk. I mean, my big thing is it's difficult to bounce back from a 2-0 loss like that. Now, everything's going to come down to that initial engagement, that touch point between these two sides, how things line up. And I'm very curious if that first cash box will be a similar story yet again. And it's going to be a little bit of a slower start for Vol, trying to dive on in. It's going to actually gateway set up perfectly, gets them in the fray. High ground controlled over the vault, and they do spot the opposition. Crusty Crew on opposite rooftops, and damage shipped away. Bola first to find it. And double deagles ready from Crab GPT. Just trying. Oh, just trying to wait. Get that opening damage. You've got a pad ready to drive on in. It's going to be perfect. Actually, it's going to be Gamblers. Going to press the advantage. Huge damage done to Cortona. It's going to be down to a single point of HP, but a great heal of damage, or heal up from him. RPG is perfect. Finds full effect. The M11 needs to get outwork to happen for it as well. Actually, no, it's going to be F-Core. Chief gets caught up with a shotgun. Vol finds it. Massive winch as well. No escape from our light. And it's going to be a chip damage galore as it will be shut down finally as Crab GPT slain by their opposite counterpart, the Heavy of Vol, and it will be a box held or tapped early from the side of Gamblers.
Yeah, what a winch from Vol there. Completely broke the tempo that Krusty Crew were having. I mean, like you're saying, Cartonis did a great job of getting back up to full HP. But we see that Crab and Vol have picked two different weapons for this map. Crab has swapped to the Deagles for Banal. You think possibly a better choice. But Gamblers are quite literally gambling their opportunities and are just going to try and rush as fast as they can into Krusty Crew and just get up in their face, have this strong presence with the Heavy, and see if they can deal as much damage as possible.
Early control, they hold the rooftops. That's going to be a padded in player. Great RPG, finds huge damage. Crab GPT needs to capitalize on that. Bola and Kiriki both wounded, but they escape and no follow-up from the rest of Krusty Crew. I wonder, intention maybe just to dive up and take that early control. They'll try and flip this in their favor. The staircase is being watched. Great read. Chief drops off though, couldn't find more damage, and he has to reset that position. And Gamblers still hold our cash box.
They're still in control, but I feel like Krusty Crew around the corner are going to hold it in a second. As the winch comes out, doesn't hit anything. Vol though takes out one. The shotgun SA-12 comes out through the D-tip to bring one of them up, but it's Vol stopping every single member here. The reload, he's used so many bullets, the winch to deny it, and oh my gosh, he's destroying them.
Oh my goodness, they just ran into a wall. This staircase was a nightmare. One by one they fall. Cortones, not a lot he could do to stay alive in this one, as that's going to be a massive team and another huge advantage from the side of Gamblers. They'll reposition the cash box right in the middle of this courtyard, and they'll give themselves a better option for line of sight. This makes it so much harder for Krusty Crew. They'll follow the default entryway, they'll pad, they'll gateway, they'll get themselves some high ground, and they'll try and look for anyone of Gamblers who leaves themselves exposed early.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be doing something right when you're running out of SA-12 ammo. I feel like that's needed. I mean, the steal though, Krusty Crew are going to try something here. They've tapped the steal and they're trying to deal as much damage as possible. Kiriki low, so is Vol. And Vol is dancing around that pillar like a salsa dancer in Banal. And it's down to nothing as Gamblers are able to take that first cash out and move a step closer to making it to champs.
At this point, it's just going to be a fight to force that reset. It's going to be Chief, the last man standing yet again. He'll dance in a hail of bullets, but it will be Bola who gets that cooperation, and be another wipe taken from the side of Krusty Crew. Oh my goodness, Gamblers have their momentum rolling here in the streets of Mexico City, as Bernal might just be their playground. They have enough time to get themselves set up and ready to control Vault 2. They might not tap it yet, as I have a feeling they want to invite that, but it's a tough day for Krusty Crew. Vol though, huge 7-piece, dominating on that heavy roll for Gamblers, and they do indeed tap the vault early. Control over the opposite rooftop is held, and both teams just watching over no man's land for now. 9-3 will try and chip away at the wall of goo that set things up nicely, but Gamblers, they have a lot of pressure, Can we see Krusty Crew dive in? This might be a massive gateway play. He has a gateway ready. The vault's going to open up nicely. Can he eject himself from this? The glitch is perfect! What a read from Gamblers. No escape, no heist. And that might force a team fight on this. Oh, bye-bye. He gets launched off that pad. Nowhere in this fight will he be for a time being. So a technical 2 versus 3. Cartone so wounded as well. He'll be thankful for the time to get that regen the roll.
Yeah, I mean, that throw on the pad, I believe is a winch into a pad, and now it's left Krusty Crew alone, but Crab able to pick up what a lovely winch there, and the SA-12 coming out, but it's not enough as Cartones picks up one. Bowler, last alive, low HP, is going to play safe, but they smell him. Krusty Crew sniffing like hounds. They're trying to find Bowler. I think they've just spotted them. Trying to run away, and here comes the F card dealing so much damage, but it's not enough. Bowler get away, and they're going to get the plug.
Not going to chase down the wipe either, so a longer or shorter reset for Gamblers to get themselves back in, well, 1 second and be back to a full fighting force. They have some map of they got a decent amount of map to traverse to get themselves ready to fight over Vault B, or Cashbox B, I should say, as they try and hold on best they can. Now, can Krusty Crew, for the first time they've held a plug here on Bernal, the first time they've won a team fight successfully, can they convert this on the scoreboard and bring us back to a level playing field here on Bernal, or will it be a trip and a date with Pulsar for Gamblers? They're trying to get themselves close. Vol takes some damage on that cross, not going to be too keen, no one able to top him up with HP. No, because he leads the charge. No one even in range for that. A great pad. That's going to give Crab GPD a massive opening. Will the RPG find a target? No. No one's there. He spots one out. He swaps out of the Deagles and can't get that finish. Bowler counts his lucky stars. And here comes an RPG ready to dive on in. Huge damage found. And I think that goo's going to be perfect. Followed up by a dome shield. This could be a massive play. The winch is even better. But can he convert from that massive cannon? Winch pulled in the wolf den. An advantage early with Gamblers. Can they convert this? The shotgun needs to find that pick. The goo, the flames, everything shuts it down. Vol gets one more. Leaves it all down to Cortones. And this steal should be so possible here.
So possible. Cartones gets the slow res onto Crab GPT, and here it comes, diving in with the gateway, and it's flipped already. There's not much time left for Krusty Crew as the light is going from their eyes. There's not much time left, and it seems like Gamblers are going to be on a lovely dinner date with... They're going to be on a lovely dinner date with Pulsar White, as that is it. Gamblers have made it, and Krusty Crew are out of the last chance qualifiers.
What a performance from Gamblers. They take it in a dominant fashion. And Bernal, their ultimate playing ground, as we'll fade away. 3, 2, 1. It's a respawn and a cash box taken from Gamblers as GGs roll through our chat, and they have booked themselves a nice romantic date with Pulsar to see who will be our final team joining the ranks of our champs, which is just around the corner. Oh my, what a matchup this was, and I really want to see these stats at the end of it. Krusty Crew, as much as they earned their stripes to be here, it felt like they were awfully quiet here in Bernal. 3 kills total. Wow, Vol finding 9. Kiriki gets 1. Bowler rounds it out with 4. The substitute steps up tall for the side of Gamblers and moves them to that matchup with Pulsar.
Yeah, steps up so tall. I mean, I feel like you were talking about a goo brick wall. I feel like there were multiple brick walls in that game, and one of them was Vol. Vol just didn't let anything pass and was completely in control for his team, and also in that heavy fight. So strong from him. What a performance.
Truly, I mean, that's just amazing stuff, and I'm so... It's just gonna look, the matchups that we've seen. Yes, we haven't seen 3 maps yet. It's been just straight up 2-0s so far. But both teams, or all 4 teams so far we've seen play, have put up massive fights going forward. And now we find ourselves in a position with Pulsar up against Gamblers for that final spot in champs. But we're not ready to go into it just yet. We're gonna do a quick little break. Do not go anywhere, and when we're back, we will decide who will be our final team to make it the champs. See you then.
the same here, we fight to win. You push us back, then belt on goals. We're all the same till our statues fall. And we lose it all, and we won't back down till we lose it all. In the belt on goals.
We are so close to finding our final team to make it to champs. We've got one best of 5 to decide who gets there. Gamblers, Pulsar, they go head to head in, well, a best of 5. But Tetra, there's one little caveat to our best of 5.
There is, and that is Pulsar is 1-0 up already into this best of 5. So they have picked Nozomi and automatically win Nozomi as their map pick, which I think, as Pulsar, you're thinking, hey, I need three wins to do this, and I've already got one of them. That's so much easier than before.
That's going to be, I think, a very helpful one. Of course, just to clarify, that's because we find them coming from our upper bracket. That's their advantage from being there. And the rest of our maps in this video are going to be Fortune Stadium, Monaco, Sis Horizon, and Seoul under construction. So, a very interesting map pool. No Bernal this time around. And that means Fortune Stadium starts us off here. I'm not going to ask for predictions this time around, as I want to just witness this for how it is. Gamblers looked exceptional on Bernal, and they took a 2-0 victory. Pulsar didn't get off to the start they would have wanted in their best of 3. Can we find success here? And will it be champs for Pulsar or champs for Gamblers? We find out now.
And it's going to be an incredible series here. I mean, again, Nozomi, already been and played. You didn't see it. It happened in an instant. Pulsar White go up 1-0 because they were in the upper bracket. And it seems like that Pulsar are already going to be taking control of this first vault. Gamblers, unfortunately, got a pretty bad spawn for this first vault. And Pulsar will be in control.
Just looking to get themselves set up nicely to hold on to it. And again, you've got such an area of the cross of your Gamblers. It's not going to be the easy one for them. And Pulsar will just try and get as much chip damage as they can. They'll find that investment from players like Devil's Work, like Atelco. They'll try and get a massive gateway, and they do find it across nicely. And that's going to be a huge crossing point. They don't take any damage from it, and Gamblers get the reset perfectly down below. Pulsar, do they have a gateway? Ready to dive out and move this box immediately? No, they don't. They want to try and stand their ground. They want to fight. And we see, again, out by Azul's building there. It's going to be a huge control. They might want to go there, but they decide to pivot away. And they just want to fight for that plug early and force Gamblers to chase them across the map.
And chasing them, they will. Gamblers running so fast, crossing here, and now they have this pad. They have the pad, they can pad up, and they've padded up to the same level as the cash out. Vol a bit behind, but they are taking their time, all grouped up now. Goo comes out, and they're going to actually go up another floor to fight Pulsar on the same level. Do Pulsar know about this? They've viewed off their sight lines, and they spot them finally. A shot rings from Kiriki, and it hits a member of Pulsar, but here comes the initial fight. The bubble comes out, and it's going deep. Vol is going so in on them, and it's just taken out a member of Pulsar down to a 2v3, and Devil's Work goes down. First member down from Pulsar in this 2v3.
Devil's Work has went down and the totem has fallen so far. At this point, there's no recovery. You might just wait the 15 seconds to force a reset. It's 2 floors below. They're going to lose it here. So Pulsar, do not hold on. There's the defib. Not enough time to stop that, and the building crumbles around them. Not a lot of consistency to work with here. Lots of cover, lots of angles to hold into, and with a Vanish Bomb to try and find that free pick of information. Diving down the floorboards will be Devil's Work. Gonna try and play off whatever chaos he can do. Just poking so far with Gamblers. Opting just to play very passive and wait for Pulsar to make the first move.
And it seems like Pulsar will be making that move quite fast. The timer is less than half, and here comes the steal. The bait and the lovely pad to deny any sort of steal there from the side of Gamblers. Very well placed, and the Goo comes out, and it's Telco alone with a lovely RPG from above, and here comes Person coming down from above. Can he witch a member of Gamblers here? He doesn't spot him out, and now it's still in control of Gamblers. The cash out, and a lovely witch, but it's countered. A lovely witch from Gamblers, and they are just running. They're playing time. Gamblers still in control, able to take out a Telco, and it's down to a 2v3. It is just down to time now. There's not much time left, and Pulsar will not be able to get this. Gamblers confirm that first cash out as they're cleaning up the members of Pulsar.
Person, the last man standing. He might have his valiant hold off, but he will be ultimately shut down. Bowler gets that credit for a team wipe on Pulsar and a box held from the Gamblers. Pulsar, a great job of getting that initial plug. They didn't want to fight for control of Sector 3. They fall back. They take a massive god zip. They get the plug early, and they try and set things up. But the ultimate blow was the fact they took a massive early casualty. Devil's Work in that first fight dies, and his totem falls so far away. They forced a stall out, wait for that flip to arrive, then find that defib. And well, that's not the team fights that they would have wanted to take. Arriving just a little bit late on the scene will be Pulsar, already getting tapped by Gamblers. And Person trying to chase up, spots one player. The RPG finds some of its damage, not a full collection. He'll hunt down using that winch. Massive pickup there. The F-car of Kiriki does for the Telco, leaving it down to Pulsar stranded. 2 fighting members to work with. The winch does not connect, and it's just going to be playing whack-a-mole. Everyone darting, ducking, dodging, and diving. And the winch doesn't connect either from Vol as well.
A very brave winch there, trying to mid-air winch a member of Pulsar. But they've escaped. Pulsar have escaped, and they're going to try and look for a Telco's totem, it seems, as the building falls around them. The new dynamic destruction really coming into play here. A Telco coins. And now it's just a Telco's job to get back in time so that they can stop Gamblers from plugging this cash box, as that will be everything. There is a cash out in hospital area, and so this could be everything. This singular fight here, as Bowler takes so much damage from the FAMAS of a Telco. So well played there. Some lovely shots ringing out. And here it is, the open space that Gamblers know they have to cross. But Pulsar White know exactly where they are. They're ducking and diving, and it might be a drop on from Gamblers here onto Pulsar White up top. And they are taking their time, bit by bit, inch by inch. Gamblers are moving closer to Pulsar, and a fight is about to break out.
Massive winch though, and that's going to be a perfect counter. Unfortunately, not enough. Bowler finds that pick. Person first to fall. Bowler's going to chase down Devil's Work and gets that confirmation. The defib's good. Person's back, but not for long. And Devil's Work, the last one standing, is going to be all alone up against Kiriki. Now, does that defib have an opportunity to arrive from the medic? No. It's going to be huge damage taken, and Devil's Work wins it. Finds that wipe, has a reset opportunity for his team. And that's going to be a nice moment there for Pulsar.
Yeah, really nice wipe there. Such a strong team fight coming in here. Telco able to get that defib off just barely, but goes down for it. And Person just put in a situation that he can't do much. But unfortunately, Kirky, like you were saying, not able to get this defib off. And Devil's Works put him to shame. And now, Devil's Work actually falls off the map. But Pulsar White still in control of this cash box. And it seems like they're just going to delay. They're just not going to let Gamblers get this hospital. They're going to give it to them. Hopefully get Devil's Work up. And it seems like the wipe they just had has completely gone to waste, as now Pulsar White are on the back foot.
That's, I mean, a little bit of a misstep and an unfortunate play. I think the great awareness, though, to realize, okay, let's just throw this cash box away. Let's get our time. Let's get our revive, and let's reset for this. At the end of the day, all this means is it's an extra risk. It's an extra team fight. You have to fight for a vault, and you don't want to wipe away from it, especially as the cash box is fairly close to Vault C. So, this stage, just posturing up. They get the information. They spot each other out. Who's going to make that first dive and find that damage? Bola, playing separate from his team, might look for it. But both teams are, like, incredibly reserved. As I say that, a massive dive in from Pulsar. The winch doesn't connect from Vol. He needs to find all that damage that he can. Devil's Work's gone. Purr's the last man standing. And this is going to be an absolute disaster class from Pulsar, as it might be just chasing down Persian. But at this stage, they've won the commit for this one. Try and find that cash box. And actually, the wipe should be easily found. Bola gets that. And with the cash box not too far away, they should get a plug on C. And a nice amount of early time advantage. And that might be the map pick advantage already slipping away from Pulsar.
Yeah, slipping away just because Devil's Work slipped off the map, it seems. A bit of slippery feet. And now I feel like Gamblers, they have the choice. They could go to C. But do they risk it and take it to B? I feel like they're going all the way, it seems. They're taking that all the way to B. And that's smart. Such a strong spot to defend on is this B pseudo-hospital cash-out area.
Gateway.
And they're going to have a plug, like I was saying, lovely gateway there. The plug comes out, and it's in control for Gamblers. Pulsar, though, on the other side. The hard work done. Do they spot any of Gamblers out in that open area?
Don't think they've gained vision just yet. But walking right beside each other now.
Oh.
No, one extra wall of cover. They have to check their corners. Have they done so? They haven't seen them. Now they do. Well, that's going to be a huge misplay. A massive winch and massive damage. Vol's going to be the first to get caught out in this fight. Opens the door for a Pulsar flip. And no one can stop it right now. Bola down below, the closest to the action. And they take that control. But I think they'll take their slap on the wrist. They'll take their medicine. And they'll wait for their teammate back. 10 seconds for it, but Pulsar realize they cannot seize this opportunity and find some damage. Bola gets wounded in the midst of this one, but it will be a revive from Vol. Back in the fray. RPG and wins combination gets Keriki, and they're going to stagger out horribly, leaving one player alone. Bola on the site building itself, and a massive area of map to cross to get Vol back in the fray.
And there it is. Persian placing a lovely C4 to deny that defib or even long res. They're just going to wait it out. They're still in control. They have the time advantage. And Vol is still on the other side of the map. They're waiting for this coin to happen. 3 seconds until Kiriki is up. And here he comes. Coin comes out. And they're going to regroup. And it's not going to be looking very good for Gamblers here as they're going into this cash out just with so little time and on the back foot, but a winch comes out, it misses, and I think that's it. Solidified this cash out for Pulsar. Telco, low HP, but they've done enough. A lovely jump pad to deny, and they're going to take the second cash out.
They take it, bringing us back to level playing field after what could have been an absolute catastrophe with Devil's Work falling off a building, forcing a reset and a lost team fight. They managed to come out better off for it, and well, Gamblers maybe just cursing themselves to that goo play playing on the map perimeter. Just didn't work out for them. And we might see a kind of a retreating fight for both these teams. Exiting our former building, getting chased down. Great damage done to both Devil's Work and Persian. Persian gets topped up nicely. Telco a little bit squishy just for the moment, but no real diving in from Gamblers. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to take those risks. They have the high ground control over Vault number 3.
Be in control of. This is so well played from Gamblers. They're delaying. They're waiting. They're waiting for Pulsar to make the first move. I think Pulsar are just about to make that. They're climbing the stairs bit by bit, about to reach the top of the building and slow walking. They're crouching around, not letting Gamblers know. Gamblers actually playing a bit of guitar to sort of make the mood a bit better. And here comes the RPG though. Lovely pads. And it's just an absolute onslaught as a member of Gamblers goes down. It's down to a 2v2, a Telco, low HP, and Bowler, the light in play, able to deal so much damage to Persian, the last alive now, as Bowler takes out Devil's Work, and it's down to just Persian, last alive, the heavy. This is everything, and the C4 isn't able to do anything, and he goes down, and Gamblers get the wipe.
Massive team fight, massive wipe for Gamblers. They get a plug with so much time left on this respawn. And it's been a difficult day for Pulsar. They found themselves struggling to get into this matchup. Now, can they find a way back in here? Actually, well, not a plug. They only get a tap of the box. My misspeaking. But they should be able to get this one done with using a massive gateway from Bola. And they do have a time advantage here. Some control, some traversal from the side of Devil's Work to get his team back in the fray. And very quickly, we might see Pulsar try to fight early for box control, not allowing a massive setup for Gamblers. And they have a chance to drop it down. That's what they'll do. They get the box under their control. They should winch it in the cover. That's exactly what they do. But followed up by with a red barrel of their own, but not committing to the steal just yet, diving away, and they're going to try and catch Gamblers on the rotation. The RPG finds some damage, and it looks like Persian will dive on in. He walks straight in the Lion's Den, pulled even deeper, and Vol shuts him down, and here comes the Bloodhounds. They sense the blood in the water, and they shut down one more. Devil's Work, the last man standing, he will try to dive in, and he'll get a reset, but they'll just make him wait there, agonizingly so. They'll force a wipe of his own team. Gamblers, perfect round management. And they have over halfway of this cash box taken at this stage. Pulsar in danger here.
Very much in danger. I mean, that winch pulling, I believe that was through a closing door, just almost able to get away, brought so much deeper into that lair. And what a play. Gamblers really are looking so strong so far. And they're still in control of the C. A good gateway is obviously needed. And we're going to see if they can do anything here. Pulsar White just need a steal soon. Otherwise, it's going to look bad for them.
Don't have a lot of time to make that steal happen. And that's the real pressure. They just got to dive in for them at this stage. Devil's Work has a massive position on that high ground. Persian finds a massive RPG. He's going to try and chase down Vol. They double team and find that pick, but here they got to dive. There's no other options. They got to make this one work. They send in Devil's Work, but with no XP to hold on. It will be map 1. Map 2 of technicality taken from Gamblers. And our scoreline in this series now brought back to level.
Yeah, really not what you want going as Pulsar. You've come from the upper bracket of this last chance qualifiers with the advantage. That advantage has now been nullified, which is never a good situation. Pulsar needed that extra point. We've seen them have such a rough season. And so having that extra point really guaranteed that they could do something with it. And they haven't been able to do anything with it. They've sort of sat back and let Gamblers take easy space, take lovely winches, and have been really on the back foot, not doing too well.
You gotta feel for them a little bit, especially Persian in that final second last fight. He misses his winch, the door closes, and it feels like he's just pulled into hell itself. Everyone on that staircase waiting for him, and they find that pick. And a lot of the case, it was the space, the control held by Gamblers, but it was Pulsar in their duels. They didn't really do too well. We found it just a lot of the time it was the opening pick going. It was a Telco, Persian, Devil's Work all falling early in fights. And once you lose that initial player, it's that exponential kind of disadvantage you have in those team fights. You lose key utility, you lose damage power, you lose everything. And I felt like they were never in significant control for the majority of the fights we've just seen here on Fortune. As you look towards our third map, Monaco, do you think we can see a different side from Pulsar?
I hope. I really hope. Pulsar are such an exceptional team, and so are Gamblers. But Pulsar have shown that they are one of the top teams right now in EU. And so to be here in the last chance qualifiers really isn't looking good for them. And so they need to put up a performance. And right now they're not doing that. So hopefully, I hope we see them, like you're saying, they were on the back foot. They weren't in control at any of these fights. I hope at some point they can finally switch that and be in control of one of the fights. That's a goal. hey, on the to-do list, Pulsar, be in control of one fight minimum, and then
Yeah,
hopefully
you
they can
also
take that
just
off.
gotta feel a little bit that there was a few, I think, misplays and mistakes. It's easy to point fingers at Devil's work there, but those things can happen, and they did turn that around and find that cash box afterwards. But I think it's going to be a story of their positioning and the fact that they're a lot of the times not able to get the numbers game advantage. We saw in that final fight that it was Devil's Work and Person get a huge double team advantage, and they were able to get that opening pick. And with maybe a little bit more time, they could have used their heavy and dome shield and more utility to get that steal to work. But it just was a little bit kind of too late in the round for them to begin to find that cohesion to work. Monaco is a different story. There's a lot of that rooftop fighting, a lot of range going into it, and I gotta wonder, how will we see these teams adapt to the different style of play now that we have on this map?
Well, I mean, we have seen previously Krusty Crew change their loadouts based on the map. We saw Crab run the SA-12 on a closer quarter map. And then when Banal came up, we saw the lovely Julies coming out. So maybe we might see a different choice of weapons. Who knows? Who knows at this point? It might be the Pulsar just try and go with what they love to just close it out.
This is, I think, the sensible thing would be to just stick with it. I mean, I don't imagine we're going to see too much deviation. I have enjoyed that the rare occasion that we see an LH1 getting brought out for teams on the light. Of course, it recently had a little bit of a balance pass, bringing it back to a little bit to not quite where it was, I believe, in season 6, but still pretty good. I believe in season 5 it was running right. I forget these things sometimes, but I mean, I like to see that variation from these teams going into Monaco. But the biggest thing outside of the map change, outside of utility and weaponry, is mentality for Pulsar. They've taken a lot of losses today. They've taken a lot of map losses. They need to start getting some victories.
They really do. And hopefully we see this on Monaco, a city known for winning, known for racing. And hopefully today is the day where racing happens for Pulsar and they race to victory, because they need this. This is the last chance qualifiers. If they lose this, they are eliminated for the last chance qualifiers and will not make it to the champs at the end of, I believe, next week. So it is really... Pulsar need to step up here, and they need to do it fast.
I mean, the story for Pulsar has been a team that has been, I think, struggling since the major qualifiers. They've, of course, had an early exit against many of the community's expectations for this side, and it's been a difficult PHL season for them as well. It's been a difficult run for cash-out games. They've not had the cohesion and flow that they've kind of been known for. But hopefully for their side and all their fans, they can find a way to get this done. But Gamblers, they want to play. Spoiler to the story, they dive into the rolling hills of Monte Carlo, and who will be our victor here in Monaco? We often see inside of racing, pole position can be so important. Who will get pole here, diving straight into our early fight? The rooftops will be our battlegrounds as everyone wants that high ground cathedral taken early from the side of Gamblers.
Yeah, I mean, so fast taken from Gamblers, and the cathedral, like you're saying, such an important spot on this map. The high ground is so important on Monaco, as every fight just revolves around a rooftop. And so having that it's just a big rooftop, really. So having that big rooftop is so important. And it seems like Vol is still on that SA-12, a wonderful choice. And Devil's Work again. Pushing up, yeah, not much people they can do from that range. The F car in hand, though, the real damage dealer here, as Pulsar White tap that box.
Also, in a tremendous amount of control. Again, the shotgun on heavy is going to be so good when you dive in and make that play. But there's a lot of extra steps that force that shotgun to kind of require for that utility to be effective. Great glitches going out. Not going to get that full gateway value from Pulsar. They'll dive away from it. And this is going to be the problem, right? You're up top, you have that high ground, now you have to chase. It's a long way, and it looks like it should be a plug for the side of Pulsar early, and they find that early advantage. Can they now catch any of these members of Gamblers on this rotation and upset their flow? They need to find these picks soon.
Oh, but it seems like Kiriki was able to spot them earlier. Persian goes down to less than half. Devil's Work uses the infuser to bring them back up to a decent amount of HP, and it's just a chase. Here comes the winch, though, and it's not enough. Persian takes down Vol, and it's down to a 2v3 Persian. Low HP, and a defib's coming up to bring back Vol. Oh, some lovely shots, though, onto Bowler with the Deagles. These Julies really putting up a performance. And it's really now, finally, Pulsar in control of a team fight.
This is much better from them, and as well, they're just going to try and drag this one out deep with Bola. 10 plus seconds on that respawn. They can sense they've all wounded gamblers to work with. Huge investment and huge damage found from those Julies. And a jump pad likely to happen, maybe even a gateway. There's the pad. They'll try and dive up and find that pressure. Bola is back in this fight, and a wise decision from gamblers. They've kited, they've fallen back, they've got themselves in the cover, and they've not risked a team fight with one player down. It does mean Bola has potential to play on a backstab when everyone's attention is turned towards the objective. Devil's Work regroups with the rest of his team and now begins the Monaco Classic. Chip damage from range and ARN brought out from Bola this time around, and just looking to have a gateway to cross this massive open expanse.
Yeah, it's a big open expanse. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't realize that this cash out is so far through. And here comes the steal. The denial stopped as Vol takes the steal. Can they deny the steal? The lovely winch over the top of the goo. They're just going to need to stall one more time to deny it, and that's the denial. Pulsar White will take their first cash out in this series. Oh, apologies, second. They got one last map. What a defense. They're finally in control.
Much better display from Pulsar, and this is really coming down to the fact that they played Monaco much better. They realized that you can set up this onion peel style defense, layer after layer, rooftop after rooftop. You can fall back and further back and use that high ground advantage, and they take that box nicely. They get themselves back into the fray here. Now Vault 2 does get opened up by gamblers early, and with that advantage from wiping Pulsar at the end of our first cash box, that gateway opens the door for a very early plug indeed. Can they find that success? I think. Actually, they've got glitched out. They spotted that potential. They threw a second one. It was only open for a brief moment, and the Vault still sits in control now of Pulsar. Great play, great read, and now they've got the rooftop hold.
Yeah, Pulsar White finally showing that they can also read teams. They are the team that is Pulsar White, the force that should not be reckoned with. And they know where gamblers are. They're just ducking and diving to dodge the wonderful shots from Persian. And here it comes, a fight, it breaks, and Bola goes down. What shots from Persian. The Julies showing why they're such a threat in this game. And here comes a lovely RPG. The glitch grenade comes out to deny that gateway, and the 8+ piece keep up the heavy as a lovely winch from the side of gamblers denies any sort of damage. The domes have both been used, and it's now running from gamblers. They are trying to escape as best they can, and here comes the winch over the rooftop. Shots ring out from the M11. Kiriki, low HP, goes down, and it's down to a 1v3 as Pulsar get the wipe, and are finally, once again, they are in control.
This is so much better from Pulsar. They are playing to the level we expect of them here against gamblers. It's going to be a massive one. Persian is 6-1 so far, running rampage with those double deagles. Not much you can do to shut him down, and he has been the lifeline for his team time and time again. They find themselves the plug. The respawn from gamblers is there, and they've relocated that cash box, hopefully, to a better spot to work with. A massive gateway to the rooftops, trying to find themselves scrambling. Devil's Work does fall early. Now, this is where gamblers need to press the advantage. They cannot let a Telco find a free defib here. They have to try and battle for it, but that's exactly what he does. Defib found, and back to 3v3.
And it's back to a 3v3, and the steal comes out. The little tap there as the Telco takes shots from that F-car across the rooftops. And here, a medium fight breaks out. Life as medium breaks out. And LH1 deals so much damage as Devil's Work takes out Kiriki. Persian and Devil's Work low HP though. Can they do anything? But it is a Telco from behind to take Bola to 1 HP. It is a 2v3. But Kiriki goes up from the long res. And now it's back to a 3v3. With Pulsar White still in control of that cash box.
Pulsar not really chasing advantages. They're happy to take that early pick, but tell you what, Bola will take that every single day. Finds Devil's Work and shuts down that LH1. Now, this is a problem for Pulsar. The Telco won't have that defib off cooldown yet. They're going to try and tap this in a mess of goo, and it's going to be a massive moment. The steal's going to be guaranteed. It can be. Nothing you can do with those double deagles. Persian's been the carry for his team. A Telco gets picked off by Kiriki. He'll find that second pick on the Persian, and we find ourselves now now in a position of a reset here on Monaco. No real way back in from Pulsar, so we'll be fighting over our next vault soon. And I think a little bit of BM over those totems. As again, still dominant from Persian and an even spread from Gamblers. Everybody equally pulling their weight.
Yeah, Persian putting up an absolute performance with these Julies. He is really eating bananas. He's going bananas, I should have said. But it's a really good effort from all of Pulsar White. I mean, devil's work. The LH1, I've never seen look so good in my life. Such amazing shots coming out from him, really denying any sort of space Gamblers can take, and we're about to see him deny even more space as he spotted all of them on top of the Cathedral. And they're in control of Vault 3 though, Gamblers. They have that the Vault on their side, and they're just waiting for Pulsar White to make that first move.
Getting a Telco back to a fighting form, just topping him up with HP. Again, this is going to be the problem with so much height held from this top Cathedral. Without, your gateway available to you, without that jump pad, it's going to be a little bit awkward to get up there. Going it the old-fashioned way with the staircase, but this might keep them in a little bit more concealment. Zip, ready to go. Trying to dive on up, and they'll take their time here. Bola, the only one standing. They'll juggle it, keep themselves nice and quiet. They'll peek it for information. They realize it's just the light lurking. And again, everything in control so far for Gamblers, and the longer we see it, this kind of passive play in Cathedral, the worse it gets. Is there's the plug for Gamblers, and Pulsar, they're miles away.
They are miles away. But Pulsar White, they know they've got time. This is something they're really good at. It's Devil's Work, playing this sort of info gatherer, able to check out the space below the other two members of Pulsar White and see if they can spot any sort of members. I think they have an idea of where they're at. Gamblers are trapped in this bottom-hand side of the building, but it doesn't matter as Persian goes down. The defib will come out, hopefully, from a Telco to get Persian back up. But it's not a good opening encounter, as Gamblers know this is the end, and they're chasing down, I believe, Devil's Work and the Telco. The Telco has to win this fight, and he isn't able to. The F-car fight goes to the side of Gamblers, and it's Persian as well down. It's 2 kills for Kiriki. Devil's Work last alive and won't be able to do much. Will likely try and save and try and get these people up via coin.
I think it's all but over at this stage for them, and then are going to have very limited time to make a steal happen in the dying embers of this matchup here on Monaco. Again, under half left. Without taking the wipe, does give them a little bit of an extra avenue to get back into this one. 1 second, Persian is here. And Devil's Work with the LH1 will like to play this high ground, will like to sit on these rooftops and chip away at the health bars of everyone from Gamblers. But in this second half of action, Pulsar have not been as dominant in these teamfights as we saw in our opening 2 cash boxes. They've fallen away, and I think Gamblers have read into this perfectly. A Telco drops over Bola, who should be able to find a mess of free damage, and that's what he does. Taking a Telco to half HP, chips away at Persian, and he dives away. It's going to be a massive pick as Devil's Work caught out by the F-car of 1. Telco finds that trade, but he might find himself losing his life. A huge pick with that F-car, and it's all but over. No time to work with, and it will be a box held on, and another map taken from the side of Gamblers. They put themselves one tantalizingly step closer to champs.
It was looking so good. Pulsar were doing so good on that first cash out. So strong. And just let it slip away from them. I honestly have no idea where they went wrong. They were playing so strong, playing together, and Gamblers just were able to go get those first picks, and that just made them crumble. They just fell apart like the new dynamism buildings. They just completely broke, and now it's advantage Gamblers. They are 1 point away from taking it to champs. Pulsar need to come back. Their advantage now completely nullified, and now less than 1. It's not looking good at all.
My concern for this from Pulsar has been that it has been a very heavy one-sided team performance. It has been Persian being the primary vocal point for this team. Now, obviously, they have a playstyle they want to enable their heavy best they can, but they haven't really been able to find success behind it. And this is where I'm very concerned in terms of not mechanics or ability or map selection, none of the above, But this is a question of mentality. They came into today with one best of 3 away from champs. They lose that best of 3, but they're in the upper bracket. They have a map advantage in a best of 5. And well, the advantage gets nullified, and now they find themselves on series point disadvantage against Gamblers. From a day that started off so close from champs to now, a journey that feels so far away from champs, Pulsar have a long road ahead of them. But we have to give the roses to Gamblers. How exceptional were they in the second half of Monaco to fight back? And that final hole of the box was almost perfection.
Yes, so well played from there. And I mean, even that second cash out, the goo to protect the steal, so well played. And some awesome, awesome stuff. Just unable, Atelko, I believe, was the one trying to deny that steal. Unable to do anything. His shots were not in view to take out the steal. And it's just been so well played from Gamblers, a team that I think most thought going into this were probably going to come out on the other side, not looking too good, have come out looking amazing. And they, I think, are ready for champs. Whereas Pulsar White, they're not looking too good. I don't think right now, if Pulsar White to win, they look like they deserve to go to champs.
This is where you really have teams test their mentality, and this is down to everything. The so much experience in this roster, you now have to pull upon all that experience. They must forget about everything from their PHL season and now focus in what will be a very interesting map of Cis Horizon. Our fourth, well, technically third, but fourth in our veto map of this best of 5. It's a good old-fashioned way to send off maybe a team to champs, or maybe even book our ticket to all 5 maps of this played. But we need to see something so much bigger from the side of Pulsar. And I think it's going to come from Metallico and Devil's Work. They have to be able to step up a little bit more on this plate. They need to be able to find some more picks. And then their own individual duels, they need to be a little bit more consistent. Because Persian, he can't put them all on their back. He can't carry the boats every single map.
No, I mean, it is really on Persian's back. Just an amazing performance from him last game. Some really, really strong shots coming out. Some amazing duels. And like you're saying, it's just kind of unfortunate. They need to step up here on this Cis Horizon. But I feel like Pulsar White, known for how good they are at Cis Horizon, I think this could go the way of Pulsar White. It is really anyone's game going into this. But Gamblers take the advantage.
I would never doubt Pulsar on any map in our pool, but I tell you what, Gamblers have played exceptional so far. As we dive into Cis Horizon, it could be our final map of the evening. This could be a trip to champs for Gamblers to find victory, or it could be one more lifeline for Pulsar if they need to fight to survive here in our best of 5. Leading the charge, Telco finds the initial tap of Vault 1, and they fall away. Devil's Work finds some early damage taken, source of which unknown. He retreats to regroup with the rest of his team.
And it's quite quiet on the Western Front right now. Gamblers are taking their time, and so are Pulsar White. But do they know about Devil's Work? Devil's Work are right behind, and the winch misses. How have you missed the winch there? But it doesn't matter, as Person is unaware. Devil's Work needs to come out from behind here, deal some damage, and get spotted is Atelko. Atelko dealing very little damage, and here comes Devil's Work. The M11, I believe, right now, able to deal so much damage, but it's not enough as Atelko lost alive, half HP, slow rezzing up to that full amount. And now it's just down to him, and the box is in control of Gamblers. Not looking good for Pulsar White.
Gamblers have no real intention here to fight for that wipe. They'll let the slow stagger out happen. Persian takes his respawn, 10 seconds until Devil's Work is back. And well, for Gamblers, they'll get themselves to the cash box, they'll plug it early, and they'll find themselves in a long-range chip fight with the Telco. Kiriki comes out worse for wear from it, and well, that's just gonna be some identification, realizing that where we'll see Pulsar coming from here. Opting to take the mid-map pad, they have to clear it from goo first. As that red barrel takes a mind of its own. They got it opened up long enough for an avenue, they'll cross in. I'm wondering what the plan here is. Playing behind Persian, he'll lead the charge. They have this red barrel. They're going to drop A straight down in their waiting arms. They're going to drop it, and they're going to try and winch this out. This needs to be a great barrel, and it will be. They'll winch it into cover, and they'll try and make this deal happen. This should force a reaction, but unfortunately, it doesn't go through the doorway, and it does drop one extra level, and that's going to force a reset. But a large open space to winch this into cover once those cooldowns reset.
And those cooldowns are very close to resetting. as the RPG comes out, deals a lot of damage. Bowler so low there, and it's down to Gamblers to try and retreat. They're trying to gain space, but it looks like they've walked straight into Pulsar White. Bowl goes down, and that is the Dome Shield used. It is now down to a 2v3 with Pulsar White trying to steal, but it's unable to as Kiriki shuts down a member of Pulsar. Etelko goes down, and the defib comes out. There's going to be 4 members back up. The slow res potentially on Etelko here, and he's going to try and get it off, but unable to. Gamblers are still in control. Person goes down, and there is the wipe from Bowler as he picks up 2.
Massive two-piece surround things out as Pulsar fall at the bottom of our library here on Sis Horizon with a long 10-second respawn. It's all but guaranteed that Gamblers move themselves one cash box closer to making it the champs. Pulsar now in a worst case situation. If they lose one more cash box, one more team fight goes away, one more misplayed gateway, and it could be their run in this season of PHL all but over. Can they find a way back in? Our fan favorites of Pulsar White have so much work to do. Who can stop Gamblers? They have to ask that question upon themselves. Persian has led the charge so far. Will he be the man to put the weight of the team upon his shoulders? And early damage chipped away. They'll find it in control of the vault held so far from Gamblers. And a difficult crossing of the bridge. They'll make it across without significant damage. Kiriki finds some from Etelko. And they'll fall back. Just waiting, baiting, trying to draw in Pulsar.
And drawing them in, they're doing very well. The gateway comes out from the side of Gamblers to just a potential escape plan if needed. A glitch denies that though, and here comes the team fight. The dome used very early on gets destroyed by the side of Pulsar White, and it's all up to this. The RPG comes out, does so much damage, and then Devil's Work is waiting them at the bottom of the stairs. Devil's Work low HP, but so are all the members of the Gambler. The healing beam keeping up the heavy, but it's not enough as 2 members of Gamblers go down. It's down to Bowler, and they tap. Pulsar White tap that vault, and it's down to Bowler. Running away, gonna let the other members coin up to not let Pulsar White have the full wipe.
An effective wipe, though, with long 20-second respawns on both of his teammates here, and this is what we need to see from Pulsar. They just dive in, and this is what the in-the-face action we need to see. Persian goes huge. Great damage assisted there from Etelko as well, and that's what they've been lacking. They've been lacking the availability of getting the numbers game in their favor. They need to be able to try and dive in and collapse in 2v1 fights to find that their duel game hasn't worked out for them so far. That's the story of it. They find themselves the plug, and we have a gateway in the arms of Bowler. He'll try and launch one in for his team, actually opting to go the long way around this time. No need to use that utility just yet in this fight. High ground held from Pulsar, so tantalizingly far away, but they are very far away from their very own cash box. Red barrel availability was there, but does it drop down? I don't believe it does, so they'll have to do this the old-fashioned way, on the level of the cash box itself.
Yeah, they're going to glitch grenade that
Oh,
C4 out of use, and a wonderful glitch. And the wonderful winch, though, from Pulsar White drags Bowl upper floor and directly into the line of sight. And here comes the heavy. Kiriki goes down. The defibbed Bowl able to deal a bit of damage. Isn't enough, though. Going to die to his own gas. And Gamblers go down. Pulsar White in control. They have locked in.
Much better team fight yet again, but we'll hop on board here, and who leads the charge? It's Persian yet again. His SA-12-16 has been the bane of the Gamblers, and while the gas done most of the damage, I'll give Persian the credit. 4-2 so far. Devil's Work with half that work to his name, Etelko, yet to find the board, but his utility will come from that heal beam, goo, and jump pad. That jump pad has been so effective of getting Persian into the fray. Gateway established from the side of Bowler, getting the rest of his team ready to go for this one. Pulsar need to hold on, need to do this because this box is their lifeline, and they'll try and dive up. The winch availability is there. They'll pull it, drop it down a floor, and this might be the attempted steal. The glitch grenades go off to cover this one. H-Plus Infuser goes huge. They'll burn away that dome shield, but Pulsar hold the high ground. They'll try and move the box out of the way, and it's going to be Persian. He sets himself up perfectly for this. No, it's going to be diving in Persian to try and save the day. He needs to win his duel against the other heavy. His teammate Etelko is there to save the day. Low on HP, without their light to work it, they hold on. And this goes to a final vault here on Sis Horizon. As this final scrap unravels, it will be Pulsar to fall. But it will be all down to this, Tetra. One final cash box here on Sis Horizon.
And it's everything. I mean, Pulsar White really, it felt like they were going to win that point. That felt everything to them, and it was. They lost that, they would have been eliminated from champs. And we're seeing them go in with this final play. They've locked in. They've dealt with gamblers finally, and now they need to do it just once more to get the mental back up and to win finally a point.
Super important for gamblers to get themselves an early plug. They hold that advantage and, well, they'll go off the entryway, make it the long way around here for Pulsar. Elko just not wanting to dabble with that one. Can't pick the lock of the wall of goo just yet. They'll make the long rotation. Waiting for that jump pad. He's ready for it. So just waiting for the rest of the team. Devil's work will play off this impact. Oh, Talco goes a little bit too high. Oh no! He fumbles around a little bit. A Genji moment for him. But the box finds itself crumbling down. And well, they have control. Gamblers falling away, but no picks for either team just yet. And Gamblers, they want to kite this. They want to drag away. They don't want to be anywhere near this. But are they close enough to stop the steal? They blow the wall, find huge damage. But Persian goes in, needs to go in and win his duel, but shut down early. Pulsar fall. Devil's work, the last man standing. And he'll throw a glitch, but it might be to no avail. He'll try and get himself to an early grave. He'll get one. No, he doesn't. Bowler shuts him down. And wow, with just under half of the time left on this box, Tetra, is there a way back in for Pulsar?
There is. Although it might not seem it, they have one last push in them. The time running low, it's going to have to take everything for them to win this final box. And I mean, everything. They're going to have to play a perfect game if they want to finally keep in the match and deny Gamblers that map point. And this could be it. Devil's work with a lovely gateway, bringing all of the members closer. But time is ticking. They're going to have to steal very, very soon. They're just trying to get a singular pick. The pad is so good, and it pads the cash out in air, and there doesn't look like there's enough time. Devil's work in person gets one bit. Kiriki trades, and there's no time left. Pulsar White are eliminated. Gamblers go through, and it is Gamblers to go to champs.
Pulsar's season of misery continues as their journey in PHL ends today. Gamblers in a 3-1 fashion cross the finish line and are our final team to etch their names into our list of representatives and champs. What a list they have joined. They're the final ones there. But GG's for them, a huge performance. Bola going massive on light, 7-2 to wrap things up. And what a performance there. Standout performances from Bola and Persian as per usual. But that's it, done. That's the LCQ, and Gamblers take that final spot.
Wow. I mean, what a series. Just so well played from both sides. Absolute cinema. So absolute cinema. And so well played. We'll quickly check on all the teams that have qualified for champs, as we've got a lovely long list of the teams, the top 6 that made it, along as Ape Squad / Bookie Sports and Gamblers. We obviously got Team Secret, Fanatics, Skyline, Emerald Apes, Alliance, and Upcoming in that top 6. Really well played.
Tremendously stacked lineup going to the champs at the end of next week from this, and the best thing about this is we have some of those best orged up teams like Secret, Fnatic, Alliance, leading the charge there, and they have been so strong and, well, inconsistent at times, but those teams who have fought their way through our LCQ have an amazing chance to upset the flow. I cannot wait for next week. I cannot wait to see which team gets to crown themselves champions of Europe. But that is everything, Tetra. That's us done for the LCQ.
That's us done. I mean, it's been a wonderful day of amazing games. I mean, these are the top 10 teams fighting it out just to make an extra spot in champs, an extra 2 spots. And we've got even more games that are going to be good coming next weekend. So if game 1, I feel like I was about to just pass out. It was so exciting. So I can't wait to see what happens next week. It's going to be amazing.
Well, we don't even have to wait till next week to see more action. In just 6 hours, we'll be live here. Well, not us, some other wonderful casters will be here for you, but they will be covering the NALCQ to send our last 2 North American representatives to their champs going forward. Of course, the Luck Cup is going to be tomorrow as well, and well, of course, it wouldn't be a day of PHL without a thank you to our amazing sponsor, Broxton, who has done so much work for us here. It's just helping to create a prize pool for these teams and players to fight over, and has been so important to PHL.
I mean, saluting. Such an amazing person. Really helps out PHL in ways that people don't even know. So that is it from us. We have been the wonderful PHL cast today. My name is Tetra. I've been joined by Whippet today. And you shall see some more amazing PHL later today for the NA Last Chance Qualifiers in just 6 hours. So we shall see you then, and have a good break, take some rest, and catch up with some more finals later. See you all later. Bye!